Hi friends, MD Vegan with my 5-minute pea soup. I have over 20 maybe now recipes, variations of this 5-minute pea soup, and it's amazing. One of my first recipes actually I made a video with. The first was how to open a coconut. Very simple, so much fun. And one of the first was also later than a little bit in 2013 now. This pea soup, I have the frozen peas here. You see I have 1.5 cups of frozen peas. They're always available. They're amazing. Peas are really, sweet peas are one of my favorite vegetables because they are available all over the year, super inexpensive at the same time when they are frozen. At the same time they are fresh, yeah. Of course that's even better, but you only get them in a short time in the health food shop in the year, in the season, and then they're very expensive. You have to open them and have these same peas but not frozen. But when they are frozen, they take them from the field directly into the freezer, into the warehouses. But there are scientific studies about this kind of conservation of vegetables that show that the nutrient content, at least the nutrients we measure usually in science, limited approach of course, but these nutrients are even higher in the frozen products, berries also very nice, than fresh fruit. Yeah, because when the fruit are fresh, they go the usual way, to the dealer and to the customer. But on this way they lose nutrients. But when they put them directly from the field into the freezer, they lose less nutrients. I mean, that is not our main problem today, year 2020, in the Western culture. We have plenty, an abundance of nutrients, so we don't need to be concerned with this kind of question. But just it's a small concern for some people, just to make it clear. This is not the main concern. That was until the 90s. Most of the people died of hunger, starvation. But now in the 2000 years, we now no longer starve that many people. Still, too many people starve. It's a lot, but more people even die of these bad diseases. So it's not the nutrients we are lacking, we have the wrong nutrients. So the most important thing is be vegan, eat plant-based, and then we lose all these we win health. We lose our bad diseases. The worst diseases will be no more problem, and the health costs go down. We can share our money evenly among the people. Everything will be no problem. Okay, that's too much. Okay, I don't want to carry it too far. But it's a big problem, big part of the problem of the solution to go vegan, for this easy reasons, easy to understand. Now the pea soup is so nice because it is done in 5 minutes. Yeah. I put the peas into this blender, and they are full of protein, and that is very nice. We need protein, not too much. Yeah. Also another myth: we don't need too much protein. Very easy to get with plants, green plants, for example, beans, also legumes, peas. Yeah, and but it needs some more fat in here because to make a creamy texture, a wonderful soup. Yeah, I need some here, and for this recipe especially. I tell you why more later. I need some cashews here, a handful of cashews, and half of an avocado. Here is a lot of fat, and here is a little bit of fat. And these together, avocado and cashews, or other nuts, in this case cashews with flavor, they are together very nice because they make the texture so nice. One of the most important things of a soup is a texture. Yeah? A texture is critical for any soup. Yeah? All kinds of soup have different textures, but for soup, the texture is critical. For example, if you make a mousse, a puree, because you have these wonderful veggies, and want to have them in a soup, you puree them, you blend them, and the texture is wrong, it's not a soup. Yeah? People who are used to eat nice soups, it's a wonderful dish, many people like it, they love the texture of the soup. And the temperature, yeah, this is frozen peas, and I will put some boiling water on top. It has boiled a couple of minutes ago, still very hot. But when I put it onto the freeze, onto the frozen peas, it will cool down still to a very nice temperature, not too high, so it won't be over 40 to 45 degrees or so. So it's still considered raw. I'm not talking from the frozen peas. The peas have usually been steamed a little bit, so there's not maybe completely raw, but if you want to have fresh peas, take these. But I don't care so much, not with the peas. It's not a big concern to freeze them. I would still consider them pretty much raw. So with the hot water, here at the same time, very simple, you just take the frozen peas, put the boiling water on top, blend it, and you're done. So what I do now, I put some seasoning in there before I put the water on top, and that is very special today because it's this variation is chili vanilla pea soup. Chili and vanilla. That's the main topic for today because these flavors are perfectly together. Here I show you, and the ratio is very important here because vanilla is a big amount. It's a teaspoon. That is very expensive. Vanilla powder, and a small amount, tiny small amount of chili powder. This is bird's eye chili. There are 10 degrees of chili, and this is the medium, the number 5. So it is, you can still touch it, and you don't need gloves or a mask when you work with them. But my spice dealer told me that we have this super high hot chilies, you can't touch them even. You can't breathe, and they have to work with the gloves and masks. So, the hotter they are, the fruitier they are, the more delicious they are. So, but that goes only for big meals, for family meals or so. You can take the hot chilies. This is a medium chili, still pretty fruity, tastes delicious. And I can still handle it, but I have to take a small amount. This is the eighth part of a teaspoon maybe, very small amount. Take a little bit more and the whole soup is ruined. You can't eat it anymore, it's too hot. But here, eighth part, be careful. And here, just the usual teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and very special, it's very nice together with peas, the shallot. And this small shallot, very small shallot. There are bigger ones, but this is a gentle kind of onion, you see? A small onion, a small shallot. If you have only onion, you can take a very small, not even half of this, of the onion, the white onion, for example, because also onion can ruin the flavor of this soup. Especially with raw soups, you need to be careful. You need small amounts of almost everything. When it's cooked, you can eat so much more quantity. With raw, I think we eat less. I don't know why, but I eat less with raw and I still feel full. In general, comparing raw and cooked food, I would say in general, very, very, not very strictly, but in general, raw food is more for cleansing, and cooked food is more for high nutrition, for gaining weight or so. But it is just to have an imagination where the journey goes, And indeed, we know scientifically that raw food is has very high qualities for healing. In the first stage of the healing, raw food has very good benefits. But long term, when it's more about nutrition, having a steady nutrition, cooked food has its place and it's pretty good. So I won't say more now, just at least again to give some orientation. It's hard to say more. All we can say for sure, the best diet is of course vegan, the healthiest diet, and also plant, also whole food. Whole food is also important, and not processing the ingredients too much. As it comes from the field, that's the best way to use. Usually, that's just general science. Everybody has a personal experience, but this we can say for all people. It's for all people, these kind of standards, and everything else is very hard to determine for everyone. That's a big difference in when we debate. So now I put some water in there and I show you how the ratio with the water is to measure. I put the water in, and it comes to maybe 1 centimeter or so, 2 centimeters above the peas, as you can see here. just a centimeter here. Yeah, this is pretty much the right ratio of water. I found out, and I will of course adjust after the blending. I will adjust a little bit, maybe a little bit more water or so, and I will see if it works. But just a general notion. Yeah. Now blender dance. So when this steady sound comes, no more woo woo, but woo, then usually the blender is done. Everything is creamy. Yeah, it's just a little bit thick at the first glance, and the cashews, they will firm up anyway because I didn't soak the cashews before. So the soup will turn a little bit thicker. So I might need a little bit more water. But first I will taste now, make the flavor check. The pea has a very gentle flavor, and you can ruin it in no time. But you can also, with the right measurements of the seasoning and the right seasoning, you can make it a delicious, a highly delicious meal. Let's see. Wow. Yes. Very nice. But more water, yeah. Especially with the cashews, you know, they firm up. Soak a little bit afterwards. So a little bit more water. It's also important for the texture for the flavor, because when it is too dense, that means too little water, then the flavor is not really gentle. It's really a little bit, it doesn't unfold really. Now, all the parts of the flavor have to unfold. Yeah? And then you have to find that, for that you have to find the right, the correct ratio with water. Let's see, one more blending. See, it's a very even sound, no more woo woo. That means texture is good, at least the base. Yeah, so it looks nice. It's also enough water now. It's good, very nice. Really good. You know what? This is a chili vanilla pea soup. I'll show you what it looks like here. Show you the glass. Just to give you an impression of the visuals here. See the nice creaminess, the wonderful color. This is a perfect soup texture, I would say. Very nice. Yeah. And it's nutritious. Yeah, I can have a whole meal with it. Maybe you can decorate with some pieces of avocado on top. Very nice in this soup, a little inlay. Or maybe some chili powder on top. Or even some chili peppers. Or some, some crystal salt, yeah, on top. Big crystals. So very nice decoration. Very simple, but very nice. And the chili vanilla flavor is very special. For two reasons, I would say here, just to give an example. It's a huge topic, because the chili is the fire. It purifies the senses from inside. It cleanses everything away. Yeah? Chili powder. And then the senses are clean, they can open up, and then comes the vanilla. It's a very complex, a highly complex flavor, very complicated. It has been produced, this vanilla bean, for a month. They work on it after the harvest, and has fermented. They store it in warm places for months. Yeah, and so a very sophisticated process with many people involved, very expensive. But then the flavor is very complex. Yeah, it's an orchid, by the way. It's kind of orchid, very, very senses, and it opened the senses after the cleansing. So this is why chili and vanilla go so perfectly together. So it's very high in the sky, to say, yeah, where this flavor plays, and the pea is very much to the ground. very earth-like, you know, pea. Yeah, I love this soup. I love this special flavor. Chili vanilla is a classic. Now you have a wonderful recipe to try for yourself, and let me know how you feel about it, what it tastes like for you. To me, it's heaven. Yeah, I will say thanks for watching again, and maybe you want to subscribe and be vegan for YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, or also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.